Hey there, welcome back friends. Let's continue. So here is the app. Take a note of the URL. The store app is on the URL localhost colon 8081, and when we click on the Samsung link, it simply receives the feed from the Samsung app and displays it. As of now, when we click on Apple, it shows an error. We will fix this in this video. Here, when we navigate to this yet another app, yet another microservice, then here we have this localhost colon 8082 link, and the URL mapping is /samsung/devices, which gives us a JSON response. Good enough, nice, no problem. Whereas we also have this Apple app now. So I have built this Apple app, which is definitely similar to the Samsung app. I will show you in just a minute. And this also gives us a list of product and also the brand name as Apple. So now, for example, I open up. So here we also have this option. If we click on window, we have these two apps which are currently running, Apple and Samsung. We can switch over apps. We will talk about Apple now. Let me minimize this. So this app is very simple. Let me show you. Here we again have, let me format things a little. Here we go. Here again we have this Spring application.run method, which is running the application. We have this Apple resource where we are simply creating a hard-coded list and returning the list of the devices. Now friends, we are not worrying about connecting with the database and doing all the JDBC stuff. Those stuff is already covered in this course. So you can definitely create a database table, then connect this app with the database table and fetch the information. Indeed, that would be better for you as well. Try to implement the database business logic for this app. That would be a good practice for you. Alright, moving forward, again we have this list of Apple products which we return for /apple/devices URL mapping, very standard stuff. And in order to accommodate devices and device, we have model. So in device we have what? In device we have name of the product and type of the product, and under devices we simply have a list of devices. Alright, so this is the standard stuff which we have built. This is in fact a copy of Samsung application indeed, with small little tweaks. Alright, so here we go. Now provided that these two applications are running simultaneously, we have this link. We will move forward and try to fix this Apple link. Alright, and we will also try to update this view. This view is like terrible, doesn't look good, so we will fix this as well. So here we go, we open STS where we have implemented the store app. This is just an IDE. You can again use IntelliJ for developing a store app. Again, that's up to you. Any IDE, whatever IDE you want to use, you can use it, but IntelliJ, while developing microservices, IntelliJ is good. Alright, nevertheless, here we have with this request mapping method, what we can do, we can simply copy this and paste it in here, and here in place of Samsung we can type in Apple. Here we go, and the name of the method would be Apple again, name of the view would be Apple again, and here we can hard code the link. Let me show you the link. For Apple devices, here is the link, localhost colon 8083 Apple devices. Let me also show you. I have also updated the application.properties and given the port as 8083. So here is the here is the link. I can hard code the link here and paste it. Now, isn't this a bad idea? Because we are in fact doing the same stuff with minor tweaks in these two methods. It is not a very good idea. We can handle both of these things into our single method itself. That is one thing, and by doing that we can reduce some kind of redundancy. So it is always good to reduce the redundancy, but you may question one thing. that in our store app we have model, let me show you, where we have device and devices. So these two methods, pardon me, these two classes, device and devices, are redundant classes. If you see device and devices, right, under Samsung app, let me show the Apple app, device and devices. So we have a redundancy when it comes to microservices. But when it comes to microservices, it is a good idea to have redundant classes, because later down the line, for example, we wish to make use of different properties or limited properties, we can do it. So when it comes to redundancy under microservices, that is allowed, but when it comes to redundancy within a independent application, that is not a good idea. So we will reduce the redundancy of this method from here, and we will do something special. So here, first of all, we will receive brand name rather than Samsung directly. So it would be like brand name, and here we are taking this as a variable, right? Then here we will make use of path param. Path param is what? Path param is brand name, and we will create a string object by the name of brand name again. Here we go. And here what we will do, we will create a switch case. Here we go. And the key would be brand name, right? And the first would be Samsung, right? And we will create a yet another case. As of now, I am not implementing the business logic of the case. I am simply creating the cases. Give me some time. I will also implement the business logic just in a minute. And in the default case, we will forward the request. We will forward the request to the error page. Rather, it would be rather good to create a yet another method for handling all the error related stuff. So it would be like request mapping, and mapping would be based on error. So whenever there is any kind of error, this particular mapping will be automatically loaded. But in our default, what we say, in our default case, we will redirect it. Nevertheless, having a error method is always a good idea. So it would be like public, return type would be model and view, name would be error. Here we go. And let us quickly create a couple of objects. So it would be like model and view equals new model and view, and we will give a error page. So it would be like error, and we will simply return model and view, and here the @ symbol is missing. All right, so now let us quickly navigate to view, and let us create the error page. JSP file error.jsp, and it would be like error, and message would be something went wrong. All right, this looks good. All right, and let us navigate to store.java file, and here we have these two cases. Cool enough. And there is one issue. We need to also convert this value to lowercase. That would be important, to lowercase. This looks good. And now let me simply copy, in fact let me simply cut this information and paste it for Samsung case. And here, as we are returning the model and view, we need not to worry about breaking the case, so we will simply get rid of it. All right, case Samsung, model and view, everything good enough. Let me copy the entire part, let me paste it for Apple too. And here we are making use of redundant name. So what we can do one small little thing. We can bring these two variables or objects, model and view and rest, outside the switch and case. That would be rather better, right? So it would be like, let me copy this and paste it in here, and here we will make use of model and view only. This looks good. Likewise, we will do the same with the rest template. So we will create two references for REST template and model and view. And do we have to do it for devices as well? Well, we have to. So let us quickly do that as well. So it would be like result in both of the cases. Alright, so we are like removing the redundancy. That is much better, because here we are creating a more efficient program rather than using multiple things. Alright, now we have these two cases, definitely good enough, but for the default case, for default we need to redirect to this URL mapping, which is /error. How to handle it? Very simple. Here we will do what? We will return first of all, and we will return a new object of model and view type, and we will give something special in here. Follow me. Redirect colon, and then we will give the URL. So this is the syntax how easily we can redirect stuff, and it would be like /error, and we are done. And this will also fix the error. So this is the thing. This is cool, this is nice. The only thing which is left is the hard-coded URL, and here we can easily make out that we were making a mistake here. We need to fix this hard-coded URL. So whenever we go with the hard-coded URL, there could be a scope of error, and it is not a good thing, but we will fix it in our next video. As of now, the length of the video is pretty high, so we won't be able to fix it in this video, but we will fix it soon. Now friends, it seems that we are done, but we are not. For example, we try to run this application, there would be an error. Our application will simply crash. The reason being, we are trying to handle this error mapping, and somehow we can't handle the error mapping without disabling the default Spring error handling. So in here, in this particular application.property file, we need to add this property, which is server.error.whitelabel.enabled equals false. Alright, now again let us navigate to our controller. Now friends, this controller has this error mapping which is okay, but this is not okay. Why? Because the placement of this error, request mapping is not correct. Why I am saying so? Because with this method in place, our application will still throw a error. What is the solution? The solution is rather very simple. Let me quickly navigate in here. And here what we will do, we will create a new controller. So we will add a new class, and indeed here we have given the package as a store, which is okay, not very cool name for the package, but alright, let's go with the same package name again. We will give the name of the class as error controller, and this will implement a interface. Let me add this interface, and the name of the interface is error controller. Here we go. So we need to override couple of methods from here, and the method is this path is very important. We need to return the path for the error path, and the path is very simple. We know that, right? So the path is /error. And here finally we need to add the method, which is here. Let me get rid of this method. Let me cut the information from here, and let me paste it inside this error controller. Here we go. And here we are making use of this view file, which is okay. And indeed there is no model in fact, so we can like return a string here directly, and we can like get rid of this line again, and we can directly return error. That would be better. This will save us one statement. Alright, so this looks good to me, and let me get rid of the unrequired imports, and now this time way around our application should run, if we haven't forgot anything. Alright, so this is running perfectly, and now we also have a custom error page. This is important to understand these small little things. These are cool and great stuff. So in this video we have understood two things: how to redirect using model and view, and how to give a custom error page, and we have modified stuff a little. We have enhanced our application. So now let us quickly test our application. So here is our original application, store application. Let me click on Samsung. Something went wrong, so there is some kind of error. Let us check by clicking on Apple. Something went wrong again. Now there is one small little but a very good thing, that our error handler, our custom error handler is working perfectly, but there is some kind of issue. Let me check. And the issue is with this annotation path param. Now friends, remember this: whenever we are making use of a REST controller, use path param. Whenever we are making use of controller or Spring MVC, use path variable. So this is an important thing. Do remember this. This is the annotation which needs to be used whenever we are making use of what? Whenever we are making use of Spring MVC. Alright, so a small little thing, but even I forgot that. Small little thing, but important though. Alright, so let me stop the web server. Let me rerun this, and it should run then. And in our next video, we will also work on the view of this particular output. So we will work on the view for this pages where we are reading the response from the microservices. So that is coming up in our next video. Alright, so this is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.